This is a Saturn. It's about 5 minutes old. It has never taken the kids to school or brought home the bacon. No one has ever taken it to the beach or to the mountains. It's never been tickled by a fluffy dog. It doesn't know about tailgate parties yet. But then our new Saturn is only, well, now it's about 6 minutes old. And that means it's not the youngest or the newest Saturn in the world anymore. Because now that just about a minute has passed, the next new Saturn may be one that's just a little bit sportier and bound for an entirely different way of life, has just rolled out into the sunshine. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What goes on behind those doors if something like that can happen in just a minute?
Here, you can walk from beginning to end and actually watch the car being, the engine coming from Powertrain and being put on a cradle in vehicle systems, and actually go all the way through vehicle systems, and you'll see a body that comes from body systems, and it actually will marry, and from that point on it just, it grows. It's exciting.
My father worked in the auto industry for 41 years, and he retired in '69, so this is all just overwhelming. He just is amazed. How each building builds something for a particular car. It's predetermined exactly what car that's going to go on. So it's kind of neat that it all comes together.
The whole process is completely fascinating. Everything being together at the same point at the same time, coming from all different directions.
It still amazes me when I'm working here in Powertrain and I can go over there and see the end result and how many cars that we could produce a day, and it's pretty exciting to me.
What goes on inside these buildings is unique within the auto industry. Not since the 1920s has there been such a totally self-integrated automobile manufacturing complex built. For while other automobiles are put together at a series of assembly plants, each Saturn and most of the major parts that go into it is manufactured right here in Spring Hill, Tennessee. This is a plant into which raw materials are delivered and out of which come one of the world's most uniquely conceived, designed, and engineered vehicles. And this is at the core of what makes Saturn such an extraordinary accomplishment, because the people who designed Saturn were charged not only with designing an entirely new automobile, but with designing an entirely new company to build and market that automobile, unlike any other in the world. Interestingly, the design of one has often echoed the design of the other. For example, the Saturn interior was designed and engineered to provide comfort and convenience for the owner, with reclining front bucket seats and a height-adjustable steering column. Likewise, workstations throughout the plant are designed to bring the work to the team member rather than vice versa, as with these moving platforms called skillets that permit technicians to ride along with the automobile rather than chase it down a line. And scissor lifts that bring the work up or down to a comfortable working height. Yet some of the most dramatic innovations at Saturn involve things you'll never see, like time clocks or foremen.
It's basically a team effort, and everybody pitches in together and try to help.
There's a lot of involvement, but doesn't mean it's easy. You have to work a lot.
Each team here at Saturn puts together one part of one car, so they have more ownership in each individual car.
Where I worked before, I was just a number. Here, I feel like a person.
The team concept at Saturn means that every individual is responsible to himself or herself and to the team as a whole to get the work done and to get the work done right. And it works. Another successful strategy at Saturn also involves things you won't see, like stacks of parts or materials lying around, or a warehouse to hold them, because Saturn has adopted the just-in-time method of manufacturing. This means that no part or supply arrives until just before it is needed for the particular cars which are being built that day. The buildings, the processes, and the Saturn automobile itself were also designed to respect all living things, from the people who would work in the plants to the plants that would thrive around them. Waste materials are recycled or returned to suppliers. As a result, imperfect bumpers wind up as perfect wheel well liners, and vinyl trim from inside door panels winds up in tennis shoes. And because most of Saturn's vendors use returnable, reusable packaging, a stack of cardboard cartons is a rare sight here. Like so many other Saturn processes, the paint process has also been designed to be kind to the environment. The waterborne paint results in air quality many times cleaner than federal standards. Perhaps most telling is that if you wander downstream from Saturn, along Carter's Creek, you'll find a brand new neighbor. The red-band darter, a member of an endangered species, has reestablished itself in this tiny creek. In fact, the only threat it faces might be the cattle who come to drink its pristine water, or the appetites of the 26 species of fish who thrive in it. Yet for all the decisions that have already been made and new strategies which have been tested, the design and engineering of the Saturn is never really done. Every day, Saturn designers and engineers in Michigan talk to Saturn team members in Tennessee, face-to-face or via video conferencing. Is there a way to do something with less cost or effort? Is this what our customers really ask for? Often the designers and engineers discover they can provide even more. One happy result of such shared thinking is that Saturn bumpers are able to withstand the impact of a collision at twice the rate of speed that the government has specified. The design and engineering of both the automobiles and the processes which create them are constantly changing and continuously improving. When you look at the Saturn, one car at a time, these unique manufacturing processes do have a beginning and a very happy ending. At most automotive plants, what you see rolling in the door are parts. At Saturn, what rolls in is a whole lot closer to the beginning of the manufacturing process, which results in more quality and greater cost control. Here at Spring Hill, raw steel is stamped out into individual parts for the space frame or metal skeleton of each Saturn. Since this is the part of your Saturn that will actually take the hit in a mishap, each of these thousands of individual welds will be put in place by robots programmed by Saturn team members to do their job with space-age precision.
I know all the effort that's put forth by all the people at all levels to build a good quality car. I know that it's a matter of pride from down here when the first weld goes on the space frame until the very last inspection.
After team members have checked the completed space frame for accuracy and given their go-ahead, each frame is dipped into a 200,000-gallon tank of electrostatically charged primer. This coating helps protect every nook and cranny of your Saturn against corrosion.
Every time you send a space frame to be built, it's the best that it can be, that it's quality. It's something that you would want your mother to have, or your sister, or your best friend in my case.
As it reaches each station, robots and the humans and computers who control them are aware of the personalities and peculiarities of this particular Saturn. There is no such thing as just another automobile component. It's the space frame for a certain station wagon, or the cockpit for a particular two-door coupe, or the panels for an individual sedan.
With each car, we do whatever is necessary to it. You know, it's not just kind of like robot-like where you go from one car to the next. And each car, you know, you check out real well and you make sure you're doing a good job on it. And I don't know, each car is different.
Elsewhere in the manufacturing complex, polymer pellets are transformed into Saturn body side panels that can actually bend and bounce back on many impacts. Their dent resistance will reward you in the parking lot, and their light weight will reward you with fuel efficiency, but it may be their beauty which first captures your heart. And much of that beauty emerges as the panels for each car go through Saturn's unique paint process. Like the panels themselves, the paint was formulated to give and to resist chipping. The result is a world-class finish for your Saturn that rivals that of many luxury cars. While rolled steel and polymer pellets arrive at body systems, metal ingots and molten aluminum arrive at the loading gates of Saturn's own foundry right here within the plant. Possibly one of the cleanest and most comfortable foundries in the world, this was also the first plant ever to build 4 versions of an automobile's engine, manual and automatic, performance and base all on the same line under the same roof. And this means that the particular powertrain for a particular Saturn is going to be finished just in time. One of the most innovative processes here in Powertrain is the lost foam method. Here, engine blocks, crankshafts, cylinder heads, and other complex metal parts are cast.
We make an exact duplicate in foam, and the metal products take the place of the foam. Our product is so close to tolerance that a lot of the parts that we produce that other people have to machine, we do not have to. So the machining costs are greatly reduced.
Powertrain is also where many say each individual Saturn is born. Each of these engines and transmissions will ultimately power a particular Saturn on its way through its final inspections and on its way out the door to a proud individual or family.
I just love the way that engine purrs. You know, there's no other engine on the market, right? You know, we don't duplicate anybody else's engine. We got our own engine, and it just sounds so good when you go down the road there.
There is a certain irony to the area of Saturn known as General Assembly. For while this most closely resembles the traditional automotive plant where cars are assembled from components made elsewhere, it is also here where it is most dramatically different. Because at Saturn, teams must rely heavily on other Saturn teams to supply them and must in turn fulfill the needs of other Saturn customers further down the line. Furthermore, it all must work together to bring all of the pieces for each individual Saturn to the right place at the right time. Interestingly, the assembly process begins by taking something apart.
We remove the doors, take them off the line, and really off the car and off the line, so that we can give each door the attention it needs, see if the window's right, see if the interior panel is correct.
Well, the reason we are able to do what we do here in cockpit is because we build the whole thing outside of the car. The way it sets on this mount as it travels down the conveyor, we are able to do our job much better. That's why we have a better chance of making every cockpit perfect.
Well, when the cockpit's ready, when we wired it up and tested all the components, well, then it gets lowered into the car it was always meant for. And let me tell you, that's one great moment for us.
Well, we call it a marriage. When we see the chassis coming into the space frame, it's really kind of exciting because we have something that finally looks like a car.
It really doesn't matter what part of the team I'm working on. I'm always thinking about the person who's going to be driving that car, and that gives me the motivation to do the best job I can.
Well, when you're at the roof or the door or the trunk, you start to think that the car is really starting to look like something.
Especially when you put in a sunroof, you know that someone's going to have a good time with that car.
Well, sometimes I wonder if the person who buys a Saturn would be surprised to know that a woman my size actually puts the tires and wheels on their car.
It's really a sight to see. The seats arrive in groups of 4, and each set is for a particular car. And when that car comes down the line, our team is ready, and so are the seats. I think it's a great example of just in time. It's a wonder, really.
You're installing the dual airbags. It's not like that my job is more important than anybody else's, but there's people whose lives are depending on these airbags, and our cars, they come standard. And, I'm really proud of that.
My favorite part's watching the panels go on. They get here just in time for the right car that they're meant to be on, and they're beautiful.
Well, with every part that I put on, every clip, lamp, or wiper, I'm thinking this is a part that somebody's going to have to count on. And it could even be somebody that I know.
What's the last thing that goes on a Saturn? Let's see. Really, I guess it'd have to be the 3 gallons of gas we pump in before it goes to dynamic vehicle testing.
Really puts these cars through their paces. And when they perform like they should, when you see those dials and meters and see the numbers you were hoping for, I can't help but think about all those teams up there on the line that made it happen.
Yet for some Saturns, the testing is not over. Several times a day, the audit team arrives at Inspiration Point and selects cars at random. These cars will be subjected to even more rigorous inspections just to make sure each is really ready to go through that door and out into the world.
Now, the audit is just a big picture of what the vehicle looks like when it's going out the door to the customer.
Engines, transmissions, axles, and wheels. Panels, seats, steering, and instruments. Frames, doors, and roofs. These are some of the things that Saturn team members make, assemble, grind, polish, install, test, and perfect every day to create Saturn automobiles. Commitment, dedication, and a genuine desire to please the customer while making a car America can be proud of. These are also some of the things Saturn team members build into every car.
I work at Saturn, which is the place that's changing the way Americans work and the way people think about what we do for a living.
I'm here every day. I give it 100%. I do my best every day here. That's the part I put into it.
You can't talk to many workers that stand behind a product. I think we all believe in it here, and that's why it's such a success, because with that type of accountability coming from a company, you can't beat it.
People didn't come here for just a job. They come here to be part of something, part of the total experience.
I wonder who it's going to go to, what type of family. I think about the person who's going to be driving it, so I try to do my workmanship to enable them to have a good product.
This is my future. I've had my children here, and I plan on staying here for the rest of my life. And we have to all work together to make it work.
I put my heart and soul in this. I left my friends and my family to come here, not just for the security of a job, but my entire working future is based here and based on Saturn.
We take our job seriously. We're here to make sure that we're building a world-class vehicle and the quality is second to none.
We all strive for perfection here.
As you would care about it. It's a big investment for you, and it's a big investment for us to work here. And I think most importantly, we care about the folks that buy our car.
I know what I'm doing is impacting the whole country, the world, and I love it.
Trucks dedicated to Saturn move through the beauty of a Tennessee morning. One may be laden with tiny plastic pellets. Another may carry aluminum ingots or rolled steel from distant mills. They're bound for a single and singular manufacturing complex. A place where some said you simply could not do what they are doing. A place where the naysayers have already been proven wrong hundreds of thousands of times year after year. The materials that are delivered are transformed into cars that America can truly call world class.
When I see a Saturn out on the road, it makes me feel good.
It's like joy in my heart when I see one of them, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I take a second look when I see them. Makes you wonder if you had anything to do with that particular one.
It makes me feel pride every time I see one going down the street, and sometimes it's kind of crazy, but I'll pull my badge and hold it up and try to get their attention. But it makes me feel good that I had a part. When the first one rolled off and they stopped the line and said that Roger Smith's driving that car off, and it was just, wow, I loved it. It was great.
We're proud of that little car that you see rolling off that line over there at Inspiration Point. We're proud of that car. We are in orbit here. We are definitely in orbit here.
Saturn, an extraordinary car that began as a vision and rolls away from Spring Hill, Tennessee, and into the lives and hearts of people just like you, one car at a time.